What does a food party entail?
Like, for example, my friend J1, James, he bought 2 boxes of pizza, and he was
Domino's?
yeah, Domino's. He was sharing food with my friends, and some girls were like dancing on the table.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ho Show. I'm Riley, and sitting beside me is my co-host and inspiration for the name of the show, Ryan Ho. Ryan, you want to say hi?
What's up?
Okay, sat next to Ryan is actually our first ever guest in the history of the Ho Show, Mr. Brian Lee.
Yeah!
Yo, yo, yo.
He's just doing his mic test there. And we brought Brian Lee on the show to talk about something that's very relatable and very important in everyone's daily lives, at the school especially, and that's academic pressure and stress. And I want to start off with a question for Brian so we can get a little bit of an idea of what stress is. Can you run us through your daily routine, Ryan, in terms of academics, your school life? What does it look like?
Oh, so I go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have a math tutor, and it's on Monday and Saturday, and I have a chemistry class
Ooh.
on Wednesday, every Wednesday,
That's
after
a lot.
school. Yeah.
These are outside of school? So
Yeah, outside of
So
school.
on top of all your, and what courses are you taking?
For HLs, I take math, econ, and geography. For SL, I take Spanish, English, and chemistry.
So you got a pretty hard lineup going there.
Yeah.
Do you find that the extra help after school helps you out in getting your work done?
Yeah, it does. It does help a lot.
Does it contribute to that pressure though, and academic stress that you feel?
Of course, because my parents are investing on my education, so I'm expecting a higher grade, but sometimes it doesn't really work really well. So yeah, that's the pressure.
Do you think that with the courses we have at school, do you need a tutor to succeed?
Yeah, I think so.
Why do you feel like there's shortcomings in particular teachers at this school and what they teach? Do you think some teachers aren't up to par with the education standards that they should be at? Not to call out any teachers or anything, but if that's what you believe.
Can we talk about this later? Like,
To
I don't
what
want
extent?
to
Okay.
like roast anyone right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll move on to
We'll
that
leave the
later.
roasting later,
Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, how much time would you say you spend on homework each day?
3 hours, 2 to 3 hours.
And that's
Yeah.
predominantly what class is that?
Most of my HLs. Yeah, I spend a lot of time for my HL subjects.
I'm guessing that's primarily math, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, math is a pain.
It is.
And which leaves you, with all this homework, how much free time does that leave you per week, would you say about?
Per week, I guess. Per week.
Do you have any free time at all, Brian?
I do. I watch YouTube.
Oh yeah, I like to do that too.
So maybe.
Is that free time or is that procrastination?
That's free time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 2 hours per day, I think.
For free time? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And what do you think of, because obviously that's not the case
Yeah.
for a lot of the people at our school.
Mhm.
Maybe not Colin because he couldn't make the time to be here
Oh,
on
yeah.
the show.
He's probably at Korean Academy
Yeah.
right now.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like 5 classes, 6 to 5 classes.
So what would you estimate the free time for someone like that is, who's getting all those extracurriculars and all those classes outside of school?
I mean, Colin never works out. He always sits down. So,
Koala.
I mean, I'm very worried for his health.
Very worried for his health.
I think he gained a lot of weight. I think.
Hey, Brian, that wasn't the question.
So yeah, I feel like he needs more free time.
A balanced life.
A balanced life, yes.
We talk about balanced lifestyles a lot, and it's very important that you gotta get a good ratio of like academics and then exercise and then social life too, right?
Yeah.
How do you think IB has, impacted, because you have so much stuff that's just outside of just your courses.
Yeah.
How much has it contributed to your, like, core class or like TOK and CAS and such? How much do you think these has contributed to, like, not having a balanced life?
I mean, a lot. A lot. E and TOK.
It's okay. You can let your emotions out, Brian.
Like. Can we talk about this later?
We'll just move everything to later. So moving on from just, we're looking at it on just a standard, like, one factor, right? We're looking
Yeah.
at school
Mhm.
and how like your courses and stuff impacts it. But what we haven't brought up is pressure based on expectations that might come from
Families.
and certain
yeah.
cultures,
Yeah.
even.
Mhm.
And especially in the Korean culture
Mhm.
and Asian cultures in general, there's a lot of emphasis placed on education. How do you think that has added on to the other types of stress?
I mean, since I'm Korean and I'm an Asian, my family's expectation are pretty high, and if I don't reach their expectation, I get grounded. For example, they take my phone.
That's rough.
Yeah, I can't go outside or like that. It's pretty sad. And like,
Do you have a tissue box?
oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, all the Korean students are living
In pain.
in pain, and like, I do want to
That's
help
horrible.
them, but like, yeah. And I feel like the Korean students are doing really good, but sometimes, I personally feel like some teachers think Koreans are like,
Do you think there's targeting of Korean students?
kind of,
Even amongst teachers?
yeah.
They have more expectations for Korean students?
I think so, because, for example, last year I was in Chinese not BSL, but Chinese level 4. I'm not going to mention her name, but she was expecting me to write more than the other students.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she recommended me to take BSL, and I was like, why? Like, why should I listen to you? But she was like, you're Korean, and
Wow.
you
She said
can't.
it to your face.
She said it to my eyes. She said it to my ears. She said it to my mouth, in front of my face.
Wow.
And she's like, since you can work hard, you can definitely go. But she didn't recommend the other students. But that doesn't mean I didn't have high grades than other students. I think she has this expectations.
Based on race.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's
Is that
tough.
why you're taking Spanish now?
Yes.
Ooh.
Rebel.
Then again, I also got recommended to BSL, and I
Oh.
feel it's because there's no other way to go. You can't go further down.
IB paved the path for you.
No, I was totally unprepared for BSL. Why is it that you're not in BSL because you opted out of that? But why is it that I have to be in the same class as people who speak Chinese fluently?
I mean,
At
what
the
level
college?
were you in?
Well, I was in
Yeah.
A4, and I was okay.
Oh, I was in A3.
But
So,
like, I'm in a class with people who are in neonative 1, right?
oh yeah.
And I don't know, maybe some neonative 2. I doubt it, but then it's like it raises the whole bar for the whole
Mhm.
class.
Yeah.
Just puts more pressure on me. Therefore,
course.
I did not do any of the Chinese homework.
Oh, that's tough.
Probably not the best way to go about it, but that's how I manage.
Don't you have Chinese tutors?
No.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, only Asians have tutors,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, Ryan, are you making assumptions? Oh.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't you have tutors, Ryan?
I have a math tutor.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm Asian, man. Come on.
Okay.
So, Brian, how do you think your family and like their expectations and such, just your family?
What are the parental expectations
yeah.
for you from?
Are they strict or?
Are they more lenient or?
I mean, my parents are not Korean. If you guys know what I'm talking about, they're not
Definitely.
like. They're kind of like Korean/American. So, I mean, they definitely want me to get all 6 or all 7s. But if I get a 6, they don't really like give me a compliment. If I get a 7, it's like, wow, clap, clap. But
Wow.
if my friend gets a 7 as well, they're like, oh, that's okay. But
Wow,
yeah.
that's tough.
that's very
That's
tough.
really tough.
How do you think for our student body as a whole, how do you think that these parental like expectations and such has affected our student mental and physical health?
I mean, I see a lot of depressed kids, such as like Colin Jung, Jeff
Yeah,
Jeff
speaking
Lee.
Speaking of Colin Jung,
Yeah.
I actually got word that Colin has been found. He was tracked down by his teacher, and he's now doing his EE.
And
says-
this is live coming at you live right now.
He says he was just about to enter the Net Impact Club when his teacher caught him. Now he is currently writing his EE. So
His chemistry EE.
I guess that just ties back into that
Yeah.
IB pressure, you know?
Yeah.
Colin's being forced into an uncomfortable situation now because he had too much on his plate and he couldn't handle it all, and instead of giving him time, his teachers tracked him down and
Yeah.
caught him.
Man, I am really worried about his mental and physical health.
I am worried too. I want to help him.
I'm really worried for when he listens to this podcast and what he's gonna think of us.
That's
We're
okay.
just looking out for you, Colin, if you hear this.
Yeah.
Shout out Colin.
Yeah.
So moving on,
Yeah, moving on.
Brian, what do you think about the IB diploma?
Can I be like really straightforward?
Yes.
You can be,
'Cause-
You can be
straightforward.
honest
Yeah.
and
As
long as
emotional.
it's-
We
as
have
long as
tissue
it's-
boxes.
As long as it's at least 50% appropriate, you can be as straightforward as you
Okay.
are.
I mean, there might be some people who disagrees with my opinion, but they gotta listen first. If they want to attack me, they gotta listen to me and then attack me. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So I feel like IB is okay, but
Yes.
the EE, the TOK, I think those kind of education stuff is too
Unnecessary.
difficult. I mean, too difficult
Or
for
too
students. I mean, they're expecting too much from the students, I guess.
What do
Like
you
the
think? What do you
the IB core,
Yeah.
right?
What do you think of the IB's policy on CAS? If you don't complete all your CAS hours, you don't get your IB diploma.
For CAS, I think I don't really have a problem with CAS. WIP, WIP.
Yes, WIP lunch.
This
fear of
work,
all
Work in
IBs.
progress. For
this
anyone who
WIP's-
doesn't know,
yeah.
who's not familiar with WIP, or
Yeah.
fortunate enough to not be familiar with WIP,
Yeah, this WIP system.
which I think Ryan and I will be attending this Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this WIP system, I think is stupid. I think it's actually stupid, because they're actually making deadlines for the students, right? And they're forcing us to write stuff.
Yeah.
If you
But-
if you think about it, you're trying to teach responsibility, right?
Yeah.
At the high school level.
Yeah,
Then what's forcing them gonna do?
exactly.
If they fail on their own, they fail on their own. I know you want to put them in the right path,
Yeah.
but like, it's their problem, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's their responsibility.
You can remind them.
Yeah,
and you can-
exactly. You can't force them, you know? You can't. I mean, they're forcing me to write 500 words in 3 days. Like, I want to write when I want to write. I want to write when I'm creative. You can't just force us to write.
Right.
And you know, like what I have right now, 1,000 words that I have right now are just all, it's nonsense. It doesn't really make sense. So
Same.
this is just making students crazy, I think.
I've also heard
Yeah.
that for some of the chem E's,
Yeah.
that the teachers have pushed their deadlines even earlier
Yeah.
before they have finished their lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If you don't finish, I've heard from some people you get a work in progress lunch if you don't finish your lab some of your lab portion
like
of your
your-
Chem E. But how can you what good does enforcing a WIP lunch do if they still need to complete their lab though?
Exactly.
That does nothing.
Yeah, I've heard that some of the Chem E's and they can't do anything during WIP because it's too short to collect data for their lab, and it's just once you're setting up, you have like 5 minutes and you have to pack up because WIP is so short. So basically, putting those students in WIP is like useless, basically.
And I feel very thankful for Miss McRoberts and Mr. Monroe. They're like, oh, we didn't eat lunch for you guys, but come on, like, you guys. I mean, not you guys. I just don't want to interrupt them. I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, I don't really know if they should.
They shouldn't be responsible for
Yeah.
watching over you.
Yeah,
Just
this
as
is our IB.
you
If
should
we
be held
fail, if
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, also, we just had classes. Who wants to study during lunch? We want to eat our food,
Yeah.
talk with our friends.
Definitely.
And do you think we're going to be productive? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my question.
And
Can
the-
you tell us more about when Mrs. McRoberts came in during WIP to split up everyone into smaller groups because everyone was partying?
Oh yeah. So some students bring their food to the library, but you can't eat food in the library, right? So we go outside, and there were my Korean fellow friends. We were having a food party a little.
what does a food party entail?
Like for example, my friend James, he bought 2 boxes of pizza, and he was
Domino's?
Domino's. He was sharing food with my friends, and some girls were like dancing on the table. Yeah, and I was just drinking my drink, and everything was going fine. But Miss McRoberts just opened the door and was yelling at us, "What are you guys doing?" I mean, let us eat lunch. Let us eat our lunch, I want to eat my food.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why was there a girl dancing? Why?
She's my friend. I won't mention her, but she was just,
In the mood?
in a mood, You're on WIP, so you gotta dance.
Wow. I think that this is a sign of how IB has driven some students crazy to this point.
I mean, this clearly shows that WIP is not working well.
Yeah.
It's bad for the
It's
students.
a failed experiment.
Yeah.
End it now.
Yeah.
I remember last year when I forgot to go to WIP,
Mhm.
I got put in detention
Oh, yeah,
after
that happened to
finishing
me
all my
too.
work.
Oh yeah.
So I had to go on detention on a nice Friday afternoon after school. Go there, sit in the office for an hour, and do
not do
absolutely
anything. Yeah.
nothing.
I never understood
Wow.
that. If you're going somewhere, make them do homework at least. It's gonna be a double whip. Don't make it a sit in silence. What good's that gonna do?
Exactly. Like, we have summatives, we have TOK, we have other things to do. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. We talked about school. We
Yeah.
talked about cultural influence. Let's go on. Let's talk about how do you deal with stress?
I don't know. I'm a very positive kid, so I just sleep and I forget everything.
Wow.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think I do the same.
I do.
Sleep.
I don't sleep, but I just watch YouTube, and then I forget I have homework.
Oh,
That
yeah.
usually does the trick
Same.
until you realize you have a lot of homework the next day, and then it doesn't look too good.
Mm-hmm.
So how many hours do you sleep on average per day?
I used to sleep 5 hours,
Wow.
but
5.
now I sleep like 6 hours and a half.
So
That's probably still not healthy.
And
Yeah.
when do you wake up?
I wake up at 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to get
it's-
more sleep or less sleep in your future?
More sleep, definitely.
More sleep.
Definitely
What's your
more.
target? What's your aim?
8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours
That's-
seems
That's
healthy.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I heard that Colin gets 4 hours sleep.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
On
Yeah.
average?
On
Well,
average.
if Colin didn't get tracked down by his teacher, we would have him to talk to.
Shout out Colin again.
Yeah, shout out Colin.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep. You want to shout out anyone else besides Colin?
Not really.
Shout out Jeff for being responsible and going to Net Impact today.
Jeff, yeah, he sleeps at 11 p.m., which
That's
is
that's pretty
that's
healthy.
pretty-
yeah, which
That's
is
8 hours.
very surprising. Yeah, but Ethan Wynn.
Oh,
Oh,
Ethan.
Ethan Wen.
These are some
He
very
commented on our Instagram post yesterday
Yes.
at around 2.
You know what's bad when you post on Instagram at 12:30 and he leaves a comment on your video at 1 a.m. and you just know he's gonna be up even later than that.
Shout out Ethan Wen. You're always sleeping in class. So
Yeah, shout out Ethan Wynn for fact.
we still love you
too.
though.
Yeah, so
So how do you think that IB has, caused you to sleep this late? Is it just too much homework? What can the school do? What can IB do to help students become more healthy?
well, they definitely have to reduce the number of tests, I guess,
Mm.
and they definitely have to remove some irrelevant stuff such as core.
Wow.
The whole IB core.
I mean, yeah.
Well, what's irrelevant about it?
I mean, some subjects are interesting. For example, econ or like
Shout out Mr. Miller.
Mr. Miller, yeah, and what else?
Oh no, that's not good.
That's not really good.
Film.
Oh wow, you don't even take film, but shout out Mr. O'Reilly.
Yeah, film looks fun, and yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, we talked about what? We talked about culture, we talked about school, we talked about how you deal with stress. Now let's move on from stress. Let's talk about your future. What are your aspirations for the future? Where do you see yourself in 5? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 5 years, I think I'm gonna be a drunk addict or something. Because I'm not gonna study when I get to college. I just want to
Chillax.
chillax and go clubbing, go travel, and have my own time. And then I might study again.
You're planning on taking a gap year?
I think so, yeah.
Where would you go? Where would you travel to?
I would go to Tokyo, my second country, home country.
Very nice.
Very nice, Brian.
Where else would you go?
I really, really want to go to North Korea. Like, I'm
Oh.
not joking, but like, I really want to visit.
What do you think you do in North Korea? There are a lot of good sights to see there. I've never
Yeah,
been, so I wouldn't
mean,
know.
I want to talk with the people.
What about the supreme leader?
No.
No?
No. He's too much for me.
I think you guys would get along pretty well.
I would
Yeah.
I would think the same. So, Brian,
Yeah.
what made you choose IB?
I mean, I didn't have any choice.
Was it your parents?
Yeah, so I came to ISB 2 years ago. I mean, there's only GCB, WAV. They all do IB, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Didn't
So,
really have any chance.
why did your parents force you into IB?
They don't really know what IB is, but they heard that IB is a good education thing. So,
Do you think the schools presenting IB, the portrayal of IB is misleading in any ways?
not really. I'm not really sure about that.
Do you think your parents were well informed of what IB was before they signed you up or made you choose?
They don't really know about IB. They just know about the score, the score system. They only care about the sevens. They don't really care about the IB.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they want the results, but they
Yeah.
don't care about how you get there.
Yeah.
So if you're cheating on calling on all your tests, cheating off of calling on all your tests, they don't really care.
They don't really care.
Shout out Colin again. That's like the 7th time we mentioned him.
Indeed.
I miss Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all miss him.
If only his teacher didn't track him down. Looking into your future, do you anticipate a lot of stress and challenges in the future when you get to college,
Yeah,
for
like,
example?
do you think this much stress in IB has helped you maybe in your life to cope with even bigger stresses or similar levels of stress?
I mean, similar level of stress, because I definitely have to worry about, getting a job when I'm in college,
Right.
and that's gonna be very stressful as well. But I believe it's gonna be less stressful than WIP, WIP, TOK,
Definitely.
Miss Wicks. Yeah, I'm just joking, but yeah, I think, there's gonna be a lot of stress as well in the future.
Are you planning to go to college in the States or in Korea?
I'm planning to go to Hong Kong or like Singapore or UK, but if I get rejected, I'm going back to this country called Korea.
What if you get rejected? What if you get rejected from Korea?
I'm going to Tokyo.
Oh, what if you get rejected from Tokyo?
I'm just gonna work
At McDonald's?
at Ryan's house.
Oh, what are you gonna do for Ryan?
Wash his dishes,
Ryan, how much are you gonna
I'll
pay
pay
him?
you
How
minimum
much-
wage.
I mean, if he's providing me a house, a place,
So if you got a house.
a place to stay, I mean, I will definitely wash his shoes, wash his dishes, and yeah.
I thought you have a very influential YouTube channel that you made some money off of.
Yeah.
Did you think of that as a possible career?
Wait, I haven't heard of this. What?
His
You-
11 million view YouTube channel?
Oh, you currently have one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, can you please cite it for the
No.
record?
No. I might go to the police or something. Well, I think I was in grade 7th or 8th. I was just curious. I really didn't know how YouTube was, working, how it's. So I just posted random videos and on YouTube, and yeah, 10 million views. Easy money.
Very impressive, Brian. We would love to have you on another episode of podcast about this topic.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have you back sometime. Maybe when we have you back, you're gonna be with Colin.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't
Hopefully-
get caught again.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't snake us again. That would be nice. But for now, let's talk about how are you gonna approach these challenges that you just talked about. These challenges. How do you want to approach these when the time comes to meet with new challenges? How do you?
I don't really know. I haven't really thought about this. Ryan, how would you approach?
I would approach by taking a good nap.
Oh, yeah, good nap.
This is my usual strategy. I just get too tired
Yeah.
and I just take a nap.
Does that strategy always work out for you?
Strategy. Does it work out for you, Ryan?
Not really.
Yeah.
So if napping doesn't work, what's your plan B?
Remove all my competitors.
Oh.
I'm
How-
just
how you-
joking.
how
I'm
you-
just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
That sounds very
We
interesting.
will start with Colin. Colin will be the first to go.
I just want to remove Harry Xiao.
Shout out Harry.
I
You
just-
better watch out. Stay safe, guys.
Well, first of all, I want to remove all the Koreans.
Oh,
because I want
yes,
to be the best
definitely.
Koreans, and then Harry Xiao, and
Mhm.
then
Obviously.
and then all the Chinese kids.
Oh wow.
I'm just
Um.
joking. Man. I mean, Chinese kids help me a lot, but Korean kids.
You're referring to them as just Chinese kids.
I mean, not Chinese friends. My Chinese friends help me a lot, But Korean friends, they don't really share information.
Are they snakes?
They're not snakes.
Do they frequently leave you out to dry? Hey Colin, can you help me with problem 3? Oh yeah, and he never gets back to you.
I mean, Colin is nice, so he helps me. But some Koreans, they don't really help each other, you know. Not because they're mean, I think it's because they're taught that way. Like, you have to be the best.
Right.
Like, mind your own business, not mind others' business. But I sometimes do that, but I try not to. But, yeah.
Do you think this comes from how competitive Koreans are in general?
Very competitive. Very competitive.
Do you think you would survive school back in Korea?
No, definitely.
So would you say, compared to South Korea, that IB is less hard or less stressful?
Less stressful.
What about compared to North Korea?
North Korea, I heard that Pyongyang University is very competitive. So,
In what way? Academically or in other ways?
Not really sure.
I hear they have a very good basketball team. I hear they use your remove the competition strategy a lot over there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Seems to be like an Asian thing, guys.
Yeah.
Removing your competitor. So, Brian, what
Yeah.
message do you have for the people, for, the ISB student body or ISB teachers or just IB students in general?
I just want to say everyone should chill. Let's all chill a little. And just, enjoy.
Relax.
Yeah.
Do you have any message for any teachers?
I just want to say thank you to Miss Rosavere.
Ms. Chappelle?
Miss Chappelle. I sometimes feel like Miss Chappelle enjoys me going to WIP, but I tend to get lazy, but Miss Rosavere and Miss Chappelle always, reminds me to work hard, so I feel very thankful. Also, yeah.
Well, with that, we're gonna wrap up today's episode of the Host Show. So thanks everyone who tuned in today, and
thank you, Brian, for coming.
thank you, Brian. And if you like Brian, or
Please
if you,
drop a like and subscribe.
Yeah, and if you reach out to us if you want to ever come on the Host Show and guest,
Just
and
DM us in Instagram at the Ho Show.
there's a few
underscores.
underscores in there. Yeah, and Brian, if you ever want to come back, we'll gladly have you back on the show. Maybe next time, as we mentioned, with Colin.
Okay.
Would be nice. So don't forget to tune in to Doubled Up next week. Grace and I will be releasing our second episode. And then also next week, look for another episode of the Ho Show podcast, hopefully with another guest.
Thanks for tuning in, and adios.
Oh, also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, BrianY00, guys.
Yeah, plug that Insta, bro.